What we do with dynamic leadership is we recondition it using the 7-step reset. You recondition it. It's not something I do to you. You look at your quest, you look at your needs, and you make adjustments with practicing exercises. And those exercises recondition. The same way they have race car drivers doing things with catching a ball and throwing the ball and switching hands, and then having to put balls, when they catch a different color ball, having to put it in a different hole because they're increasing their reaction time. The point is you can improve upon what we were handed off from our 0 to 7 conditioning and our operationalizing with the prefrontal cortex. You can improve that, and that's what we do with dynamic leadership, but specifically for agency and personal leadership. So this one, you have this pre-listening period out here, about 1/10 of a second, and then you have 500 milliseconds, so this gives you your 600, and then you have a handoff to the conscious mind. So this over here is pre-conscious, and this is conscious. This is the network of neurons. This is the conscious mind. Network of neurons, physiological, 100 billion neurons, energy pulsing through those neural pathways, synapses connecting the neurons. Neurons get wrapped with myelin, and that makes them habits, and habits become the path of least resistance. And in this period, you have basically 3 sections. You have the first 2/10 of a second, second 2/10 of a second, and third 2/10 of a second. And in each one of these, you have opportunities to make a change. And there you have opportunities to make a change. So just quick examples, you can do perpetual question change. Here you can use breathing. You can use attention shifts. You can use a signal. Here you can use anchoring, some kind of an anchor that brings you back to a coherent state. And that's a big part of this. A big factor is influence, high. Effort, low. Over here. Over here in the conscious mind, influence, low. This is why we believe for so many years and decades that you can't change habits. Effort, high. If you do change, it's a lot of effort. But when you understand the neuroplasticity and doing it over here, the effort goes way, way down because you have all this leverage. You're interacting in milliseconds. So you're stopping some of this scaling that's going up, and you're putting the automaticity to work for you in favor of what you're doing. So we talked about 3 different kinds of habits. We said there's behavior, there's reactive, and there's constructs. Behavior, if you start with behavior, you'll always be fighting an uphill battle. If you start with constructs, it's almost impossible because a personality is a construct. How do you change a personality at the construct level? You don't. You have to change it at the elements level. The same way in sports. If a person wants to learn a new move, they don't start at the macro side of the move. The coach will break it down into small parts, and then they put them together, and that's the move.